Okay, folks, buckle up. It's time for my favorite workout day. That's right, it's leg day. Love leg day. If you're not training your legs seriously, you're leaving strength on the table. You really are. Nobody is at their optimal strength, even in their upper body, if their legs are weak. So starting off, of course, with my usual warm-up, just kind of moving the hips, moving the knees, ankles. I'm trying with most of my exercises to be strong in my weakest position. I want my ligaments to be strong, my tendons to be strong, muscles to be strong. I don't want to be one of these people where this is what hurt me so many years back, is having a lot of weakness in my weakest position. So started off, of course, with the grandio all leg exercises, the squat. Of course, in the bodyweight culture world, the single leg squat is something to strive for. One of the things that really helped me with my leg strength was the idea of when you squat, you just go all the way down, barring any kind of knee injuries or anything like that. But people ask me all the time, how big a range of motion should I be using with my exercises, be it squats or anything? I always tell them, just as much as you can. Use every inch you possibly can. At the PCC, we discussed about how when you're doing an exercise, the more range of motion you have, the stronger you will become. Because as you go through a range of motion, like the squat here, the tension on your muscles changes. And a lot of times people will use a shorter range of motion to avoid those areas where they are weakest. But what they're essentially doing is not getting the best part of the exercise. So squats all the way down until your thigh is touching your calves. Then, of course, I supersetted that with these strap curls. These curls revolutionized my biking and the occasional running that I do. A lot of times people compare these to like the machine style curls you see in the gym and stuff. It's not even in the same league. This is like finely prepared $70 filet mignon steak compared to like month-old beef jerky that's been sitting on the counter all the time. This is a phenomenal exercise because it emphasizes on the hamstrings, but it works your entire posterior chain. Glutes, all the muscles in the lower back, spinal erectors, calves, everything gets worked beautifully with this. Plus, there's no stress on the lower back or anything that's going to throw your back out, which happened to a buddy of mine once. So supersetting that, of course, here we are once again with the pistol squat. The thing we want to keep in mind with single leg work, especially the pistol squat, is that when we do this, we want the single limb version to look carbon copy to basically what we're doing with the two-limb version. So what I'll often do is I'll do regular two-legged squats and see, okay, how's my upper body position? How are my arms positioned? What are my legs doing? Where are my hips shifting and moving around? And then I try and do exactly the same thing here with basically just the only change being one leg is on my center line. And pressing up through the heel, making sure that my weight isn't shooting forward too much, which is another thing you often see with the single leg squat. This move is magic. If you can get good at this move, it will strengthen your legs unlike any other exercise. Then I upgraded my leg curls here. I got my hands on my thighs there. Bodyweight training, a lot of people will say, oh, you can't make it any harder because your body weight itself doesn't change during an exercise, which is true enough, but you can change how much of your body you're lifting. And in this case, instead of my arms on the ground, now I'm lifting my arms in addition to the rest of my body. And you can see by my slightly shorter range of motion, this is a more challenging variation than what I've got. So upgraded there, and of course I could put my arms down as kind of a bit of a drop set. This exercise here, I think I've created this one myself. I haven't seen anybody else do this. This, of course, is a body weight-based leg extension exercise. I'm using my weight to come back, and I'm pushing my knee forwards. So basically, it's kind of like I'm sissy squatting or doing a trust fall on my back leg. My front leg is more of a stabilizing. I'm not really putting as much weight on it as possible. If you try this one, use very short range of motion at first. Pay attention to your knee. This is a good one to strengthen the ligaments and tendons in the front of the knee, especially that patellar tendon, but give it some time. The first few times I did this, I felt a little bit of a tweak in the front of the knee, just a little bit of a burn, but the ligament strengthened over time. So use range of motion to strengthen this one, but be patient with it. Just play with it a little bit and just bring your knee forward and downwards. Just 5 to 6 repetitions there. Calf raises are always a staple on my leg days. I love my calf raises. Doing single leg calf raises here, though I'll often do two-legged calf raises. This is one of those moves that is unbelievably complex and no one knows it. They're like, oh, you just put your foot on the block and up and down and up and down. There's at least 5 or 6 things I'm trying to focus on and correct during this move. One of the biggest ones is I'm working to keep the quadricep of my working leg tight. Slightly bending your knee and keeping the leg relaxed makes it a little bit easier. If you keep your quads really, really tight, really puts a lot more stress and emphasis on those calf muscles. The other thing I'm looking at here too is I like this pole because it allows me to lean back with the exercise. By leaning back, I can put my weight more over my heel rather than on the ball of the foot. So again, I'm effectively lifting more of my body weight directly against the limb that's working as opposed to less if I were leaning forward. Upgraded with the next set with a pair of weights there, just a couple 10-pound plates that I often use, and same sort of deal. Working again, range of motion, trying to get as high as I could with the previous set. Here's another view of the leg extension exercise. This one's a real good balance exercise. All of these exercises that I'm doing are balance-based workouts. A lot of times you see people in the gym, they're doing things on like Bosu balls and balance sticks and stuff. That's all fine and good, but my thing is we've got to combine strength and balance and control together. We can't have them separate because stability without strength is useless. It's like a 500 horsepower engine in a car with bald tires and no brakes. You're either not going to use the power or you're going to hurt yourself. But at the same time, lots of stability without strength means you got control, but nothing really to control. So all of these exercises build stability and strength in relation to one another, which is why they work so well at building up your ability to run better, to hike better, skills and sports and everything like that. Back again with the calf raise, I wanted to show you, I pressed my foot into the back of my ankle. One of the things with bodyweight exercises is again, as I'm always saying, be in control of every limb of your body, even if it's not necessarily working. Always be in control of where it's going and what it's doing, because otherwise it's liable to just run around. Here I am, I'm just playing around doing lunges up the hill. This was just a spur of the moment thing. I was like, wonder what lunges up and down a hill are like. So I did a few sets of that, learned a few things more about balance, might be an exercise I do. And then finally I finished off with some hip work. This is an exercise I do a lot for my kicking and taekwondo. It's basically for really good kicks, there are 3 things you need. You need good flexibility, you need good balance, and you need good hip strength and core strength and everything. And this type of exercise, basically doing the kicks very slow, is a fantastic way of developing all 3 of those attributes. These things transformed my kicks practically overnight. I should have done these things years ago. So it's just the basic kicks, the turning kick or the roundhouse kick, the front kick and the side kick to really work the hips, the quads, the hamstrings. I'm also putting as much emphasis in the supporting leg as I am in the kicking leg to make sure that my weight is drilling on down. So that, in the nutshell, was my latest leg workout. If you have questions, leave them down below or matt@thefitrebel.com. Till then, this is Matt Schifferly reminding you to be fit and live free.